Everybody, and welcome to week 6. You're probably looking at the title for this week and thinking that it's going to be the most boring week ever, but you couldn't be more wrong. Research can be really interesting in terms of public relations because it really lays the foundation for everything that communication specialists do. So if you remember the RACE acronym, research is the first step in the PR process. Take a second and think about the different types of things that you as a communication specialist would have to research and why. You have to research publics, you have to research competitors, you have to research whatever it is that you are promoting or talking about at a given point in time. You have to research what other people are saying about your organization so that you can know if there are any problems or opportunities out there for you to respond to or be proactive about. And you have to research your organization just to see what's been done before, what's worked, and what hasn't. And that really lays the foundation for everything else that you do moving forward, the action or communication or the next two steps in the RACE process. So this week, the lesson and the reading taken together talk about what research is, why we should do it, and what some of the best methods are for doing it. So this is a very, very general view of research. Some of you who take any of the psychology courses offered here might have gotten already a foundation in some of the research methods that we're going to talk about this week as well. So this week, in terms of activities, you have a discussion forum that asks you to look at different ways that you could combine effectively both qualitative and quantitative research methods in order to conduct research in PR. If that doesn't make sense to you now, it should make sense to you by the time that you've done the reading as well as viewed the lesson. And then you have an activity that requires you to talk about what kind of research you would do if you were planning a campus blood drive. So this is a pretty realistic scenario considering we just had a blood drive about 2 weeks ago. And anyone who's involved in student life might have already had real life experience with this. Whether you have or hadn't had real life experience with it though, it's really important to think about what you would do if you were, so it's not planning the blood drive, like where would you put it and stuff like that, but how would you promote it and how would you get participation for it? How would you communicate about it? That's what you're doing research and then devising a plan for. So that's what you have to do for your activity. And then there's also 2 current event discussion leads for you to watch. As always, you have the option of posting to one or both of them. Same directions as always apply. If you respond to both, make sure you do it separately and put in the title of your response who you're responding to. And as far as not last week's work, the week before when we looked at PR and society, that's all been graded, and just some general feedback on your CSR presentations. I was really excited to see that some of you took to heart the instructions for making more aesthetically pleasing and interesting presentations. So that was really good. And a lot of you were able to see some good commonalities and differences among the way that CSR is enacted. Some of the commonalities and the way we can talk about corporate social responsibility being institutionalized is that we see organizations talking about their communities. Sometimes the community means the places, the towns in which they're actually operating, and sometimes they talk about the global community. Another main focus is the environment and how they can make their businesses more sustainable. You may have also noticed that CSR seems the most genuine or seems to work the best when organizations enact CSR within the industry that they are part of. So for example, Johnson & Johnson does a lot of health-related corporate social responsibility initiatives. So but it's a very important part of public relations, and I would argue that societally it's really important in terms of building social capital. I kind of agree with what your reading said about the fact that organizations can now act as these institutions that can create and spread social capital across borders, and especially using technology. So I hope that you took a lot away from that, and all of this just kind of builds the foundation for where we're going later in the course. So that's it. In case you can't hear them, my kids are freaking out downstairs, so I'm going to go take care of them. And I hope you have a great week. Unfortunately, my office hours were cut short this week since we had a snow day today, Tuesday. But I will be there tomorrow, Wednesday. I'll be there in the morning, but my availability will be spotty because I have a lot of meetings. But after 1 o'clock, I will be there from about 1 to 2:45. And of course, if you needed to set up a different time, you can always reach out to me and we can set up a time to meet, talk on the phone, Skype, or just email. So with that, have a great week and stay warm.